Complex Magazine declares J. Cole as the hottest rapper in the world over Drake and Kendrick. What's up, word? Your boy Challz Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Keep sending those cash outs to CLBMG. Join that membership. And all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. Before we get started, head down in those affiliate links down below. I got Temu and a couple other things down there. Lock in. Gang, I don't know the criteria, right? We all know that Complex does these wacky, crazy, goofy lists. So does Rolling Stone and a lot of other magazines. They do the Billboard and this, that, and the third. They do these lists for engagement, and then 9 times out of 10 it's going to work. You can put any kind of list together and get people to talking, and people will start talking and running off at the mouth and saying all kind of stuff. But they put 100 rappers list out, and I'm gonna get into the list. I'm not gonna do the all 100. I said I'm not doing all 100. I'm gonna do the top 30, and we can have that conversation. But we know what these lists are for. They're for engagement. But we're going to engage in them because sometimes they're speaking on the culture, and somebody got to represent the culture, and that's going to be me and you. Now, when I look at this whole situation, and I'm going to read why they say that J. Cole is the hottest rapper, I disagree wholeheartedly because, one, let's just be honest. The only time we've been talking about J. Cole since that album dropped, we've talked about the album itself, and that fizzled out. Then he went on that interview run, which in hindsight, he needed it because the conversation was fizzling out. There is no record. There is no series of records that came out with this album that caused a mass disruption in hip hop. If anything, people were debating about how it wasn't enough. Most of his fans were overjoyed. A lot of them were happy, but for the most part, it was a fan service album. It pretty much only fed the people who want to hear that same type of music all over again. A lot of them liked it because it was extremely accurate and similar to what he's already done in the past. So a lot of them liked it. A lot of them thought it was very eclectic and exactly what they wanted. But for the most part, a lot of people thought that it was Sleepy Cole once again doing what Sleepy Cole does. You would have expected him to step it up in an album of that magnitude, coming off an apology and a battle that he was considered to have taken an L in, right? Because he backed away. You would have thought he would have taken more chances, had more features, had a better product. And I did a review on it. I told you it's going to be the most unfair review that you've ever seen. Admittedly, right up front, I was open and honest that I heard the music while watching a reactor stream the music. So it was not a fair review, and I was open and honest, but you still can hear the music if someone else is playing it through the speakers, gang. And what I heard, I was not really impressed with it at all. And I thought that J. Cole, once again, hit us with what I hate to determine or define as Sleepy Cole, but that's what it actually was when you peel back the layers of a 24-track double CD that kind of sounds dated in some places, and other places it sounds like exactly what you would expect to me. And at the end of the day, when we look at that album, I don't hear nobody mentioning nothing about that album. Let's talk about GNX. Let's talk about how when that thing rolled out, months later, they're still talking about the songs from GNX. They were still talking about that thing years later. And yes, because he went on tour, it extended it. And yes, that lawsuit being so ridiculous, every time they mentioned the lawsuit, everybody went back and played this shit all over again. So all of that is part of relevance and influence in the culture. GNX and Kendrick had this thing for 2 years straight. I believe GNX dropped in either October of 2024 or November, right? At one of them months, That thing went well beyond the Super Bowl for months. Then he dropped Luther, and it dominated even longer. J. Cole, he dropped at least 2 videos that I know of. Neither one of them stuck. No one was talking about that shit. The day he dropped it, it was grand opening, grand closing. I don't know how J. Cole is the hottest rapper. I don't know what you're talking about. Because, yeah, he sold record. And I'm going to read it, all this and all that. And I get it that J. Cole fans are probably going to be in the building hyping this up. Y'all better hype me up, right? They're going to be in the building giving me all kind of scenarios and this, that, and the third. I already know the usual suspects going to be in the comments. But for me to say J. Cole is the hottest rapper on earth, I disagree. I disagree because I feel like what he was hot for was the interviews that stumbled and fumbled and bumbled. Half his fans spent half the time trying to clean up the nonsense he was saying. Okay? And the other half was riding around in that promo with that Civic with the new engine. That got him a lot of pub, but it wasn't good pub. Half of his fans was falling all over themselves, throwing up on their sweaters to see the nigga. But for the most part, everybody was like, this is performative bullshit. So he wasn't greedy. J. Cole don't get the same greedy he used to, gang. The open-ended, open-armed, whatever he does is for the culture. That shit, that window's sailed. J. Cole used to be, he can move through this culture unimpeded with whatever decision he would make. This time was different. It was like they were questioning everything. So it wasn't like he was hot because he was on fire and the game was rocking with him and the culture was solidified with Cole. No. It was everything he did was looked at as crazy. Then he went on this ridiculous basketball trip, went to China, played one game, missed 4 buckets, looked absolutely asinine. That gave him a lot of pub and a lot of people was talking. I don't think that makes you a hot rapper. You're naming the zeitgeist for all the wrong reasons for 3 months. Right? So hot meaning what? What music, what song is out there right now that people going slam crazy for that J. Cole dropped in off the fall off? I can't think of one, my guy. I can't think of one. If I'm out and they do play music and they do play J. Cole song, you're like, what is that? What song is that? There is no record right now. Okay? Bossman D-Lo got more records popping in the hood than J. Cole. I'm just going to be honest. All right? So I don't understand how they came to this conclusion. They really much saying pretty much because he sold a lot of records. I don't know if that makes you hot, my G. I don't know, just because you made a lot of records, you're on fire. You got to kind of move the culture, too, with the records you sold. People got to kind of be talking about your music. Your videos got to be on and popping. Right? It's just like that Joyner Lucas thing we keep talking about. Joyner Lucas could blow up. He can make a record, do $1 million, a million views overnight, and the culture won't even acknowledge it. He has a fan base. Yes, a lot of people got fan bases. That doesn't mean they're hot. K-Dot still, right now, there's more conversation right now on Twitter with Kendrick's name right now than it is with J. Cole. That is a fact. Yeah, J. Cole numbers blew up. The metrics of J. Cole, oh yeah, they skyrocketed. Ever since the trailer dropped, then he dropped the fall off, then he went on that tour. All of that was in 2 months, gang. K-Dot was 2 years. And still, this thing ain't said a word, ain't done an interview, nothing since the Super Bowl. So this guy still could generate extreme amount of discourse. Right now, 2026, as J. Cole, I don't know how J. Cole is hotter than K-Dot. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't understand it. He had a hot 2 months where he was actively trying really hard to be hot. He did 4 interviews, if I'm not mistaken. He dropped a record that did pretty well. He did the performative thing with the driving across the country, even went to see TDE. This, that, and the third. But I think all of that is him trying. Kendrick wasn't even trying. Kendrick hasn't done shit since Luther. And is still being talked about at a high level. Okay? And every day that Drake, this run that he's on, everything he does with this promotional tour, it leads right back to Kendrick. Everything he does, he putting up Pinocchio, he's got this, that, and the third. It's all these little slick shits. All of that shit leads back to K-Dot. At this point, if Drake don't diss Kendrick, it's going to be a sad day for the Iceman record if he don't diss him. That means that is relevant. All right? How long do you think that record going to spin if there ain't no dissing of Kendrick and others? How long you think it's going to spin? Okay? So I don't understand how you're saying that J. Cole is the hottest, but let's talk about it, Complex. Let's have this conversation. Now, like I said, I'm not doing 100 rappers. We're not doing that. But I'm going to give you the 30. I'm going to start at the 30. And on the last 5, I'm going to discuss those last 5. So, number 30, according to Complex, is Da Baby. Number 29 is Lil Baby, which used to be confusing. Now it's not. Number 28 is Big X The Plug. 27 is Sexy Red. 26 is Ken Carson. 25, Lil Yachty. 24, Rod Wave. Rod Wave still in there? Okay. 23 is Lotto. 22, 21 Savage. 21, T.I. 20, Doechii. I think Doechii's a little hotter than a lot of people they got after her, but let's continue. 19 is Gunna. 18 is Tyler, the Creator. 17, A$AP Rocky. Hey, all these guys pretty hot, I'm gonna be honest. 16, Playboy Cardi. 15, Pooh Shiesty. They must be talking about Infamy, right? 14, SD the Kid. 13, Future. 12, Lil Uzi Vert. 11, Cardi B. 10, Baby Keem. Keem is popping. 9 is Ye. 8 is Jay-Z. Now, if you're going to start putting Jay and Ye in there, we got to have a real conversation. We got to have real... Jay-Z didn't drop anything. And Ye just now dropping Bully. And I don't hear nobody talking about Bully. Okay? It did whatever numbers it's going to do. That thing, grand opening, grand closing. Half his shows getting canceled. I don't know how he's number 9 hottest rapper. Don't know. Maybe y'all talking about because their name is in the zeitgeist. I don't know what they mean by this. But let's continue. Travis Scott is number 7. Number 6 is Don Toliver. Number 5 is Yeat. So I'm going to get into the 5. I'm going to read to you these 5 because we need to understand the metrics of why they are putting these people at 5. So Yeat. Yeat wearing a baklava tactical vest and jewelry and tattoos. Featured in the 100 hottest rappers right now list as number 5. He's one of the hottest rappers right now. There are very few rappers as hardworking as Yeat. He releases music at an overwhelming clip. And his latest, the double album ADL, is his biggest mainstream swing yet. He expands his soundscape to the point where an Elton John sample and a Kylie Jenner feature both appear comfortably. And like any rap superstar worth his hype, Yeat is celebrating the release with a massive tour this year. So Yeat is number 5, and that's part why they chose him. Number 4, Young Boy Never Broke Again, a.k.a. NBA Young Boy. Coming off a white hot 2025 that earns him our Best Rapper Alive title, so they gave it to Young Boy last year. YB carried the momentum into this year with his latest studio album, Slime City. Now, you got some explaining to do. Let me finish. The album debuted at number 6 with roughly 70,000 equivalent units moved. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. Between Make America Slime Again and Slime Cry and prominent features on projects from Netspin, Mike Will Made It, and Yeat, YB's presence remains undeniable. Like the game told us, he's a Tupac for YNs, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. So, let me just ask you a question. If he was number 1 last year, how on earth is he number 4 right now behind Kendrick, who hasn't done nothing, and Drake, who just started popping with this? He was number 1 last year, gang. Now you're putting him behind J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. When he cleared all of that shit, we only a couple months into this year. So when did he not become hot? When did Kendrick leapfrog him? When did J. Cole leapfrog him? When did Drake leapfrog him? Drake just started the promo last week. He just started the shit this month. Yesterday, 2 or 3 days ago with the Ice shit. How is he behind them? I'm just curious. Where did he fall off when he never stopped, according to you? These lists don't make no sense, but we know why they put J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. They want the conversation. Because you're not going to talk. If it goes J. Cole, NBA Youngboy, that you're not going to talk about that. So they put J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. Makes no sense, but here we are. Voila. All right, so now number 3, Kendrick Lamar. After one of the most dominant stretches by a rapper in recent history, Kendrick Lamar has earned his rest. Following his dismantling of Drake in one of the most heated rap beefs of all time, punctuated by a massive record, he returned with the Monster album, a stadium tour, and a Grammy Hall 2 match. He did all that and wasn't even trying to be hot. And this guy, everything he did, dude was at Disney World. Shit made worldwide news. Let me continue. But after all that, Kendrick has kept relatively low in 2026, with his most notable appearance being a standout feature on Baby Keem's Casino album. Whether or not we see another Kendrick project this year remains to be seen. But those occasional peekaboo moments are more than enough to keep him firmly near the top as one of the hottest rappers in hip-hop. So, he got the Grammys, which made him his number shoot through the zeitgeist. For old music, gang. This is old music, 2 years old. Got Grammys for that shit. Because he did videos, da-da-da. All right? Peekaboo moments, da-da-da. He did the Baby Keem feature, and he went and collected his Grammys. That's all recent. Last year was all about Luther, this, that, and the third. I don't know in what world, right? In what world that he barely did anything, but these guys actively are trying and they still struggling. He still is hotter than them, and he barely did anything, right? Drake just started to pop. Let me get to number 2, Drake. Drake's Iceman is easily the most anticipated album of the year, which makes his placement on this list a no-brainer. After a bruising dust-up with Kendrick, Drake has remained at the center of rap, even as his drops have grown less frequent. His hits, while still hits, haven't been as sticky. So they are admitting that he's not doing nothing to deserve this spot, but they're giving it to him anyway. If anything, he's found new ways to innovate. He has dismantled the traditional rollout playbook by leaning into streaming and creating RIL moments like the massive ice structure in Toronto, which is why they made him number 2. Let's just be honest. Recent singles like What Did I Miss and Doghouse with Yeat and Julia Wolf have felt more like testers than full-blown statements, but that hasn't dampened the anticipation. The hype is real. Now it's up to Drake to deliver the classic he's been circling for a decade. Gang, they stuck him on here for no reason, because they just admittedly said all of his shit's dudding. He's popping because of the icebox thing and because of the lawsuit and the infamy, but being hot, a hot rapper, they really pretty much said most of the stuff is stinking up the spot. They just said that. Okay? Now, let me get to the number 1, J. Cole. Here's why they put J. Cole over Drake and Dot. Right? Yeah, he had a hot album, this, that, and the third. But is he hotter than Drake and Dot? Let's see. Cultural impact. The long-delayed and highly anticipated fall off stands as one of the most critically acclaimed rap albums of the year and has allowed Cole to own the conversation in the first part of the year. The fall off debuted at number 1, moving 280,000 equivalent units, making it the biggest opening for a rap album in 2026. That's massive, gang. Okay? Now, after that, plateau. I don't think J. Cole is getting nowhere near the pub he was when he dropped that album. I'm just going to be honest. Let me continue. To be the hottest rapper in the world right now means you have to control the charts, the algorithm, and capture the attention of an increasingly fickle rap population. J. Cole has done all of that, reminding us why he's still one of the most powerful artists in the world. What makes it more impressive is that Cole came into the year as an underdog. There was a lot of doubt surrounding him after he bowed out of the biggest rap battle in history 2 years ago. He had been teasing the fall off and has alleged his alleged last studio album for nearly a decade, and for some, the apology had soured that anticipation. But great rapping and an even better rollout can solve all. Not only did the fall off deliver on Cole's promise to bring us his story full circle, but the way he promoted the double disc project, took over social media, and reminded his naysayers why he's still one of the biggest rappers on the planet. Now, like I said, that was a very big week. We had 910 Space coming out talking about he wanted that fade. If Cole talking to me, he gonna beat up the rapper from back home, then I'm the rapper back home, right? Like that movie where you say they was playing football. I think it's Little Giants or something like that. And it said, pitch to Gary, I'm Gary, right? 910 Space was like, I'm 910, I'm the rapper you want to fight. So all of that stuff, yes, it was very big in the moment. Died down really quickly, gang. That 15 minutes didn't last that long. But let me continue. His birthday Blizzard mixtape, where he rapped over classic locks and Biggie beats, was the perfect prelude to build hype for the album. The fall off delivered on the music and the numbers. The album roughly sold 280 in the first week, making it the highest album of the year, giving Cole his 7th straight #1. Then, while riding that momentum, the Carolina rapper did something true to his brand. He dusted off the same Honda Civic he used to drive from Fayetteville, North Carolina to New York City when he attended St. John's University and sold physical CDs out the trunk at college campuses across the Chitlin Circus, quote unquote. To cap it all off, he announced his Fall Off World Tour and reportedly sold more than 800,000 tickets. That is massive, gang. He has fans. No one's debating that. Cole checked off every box required to be the hottest rapper right now and proved that he moves in real life to drown out whether they're saying whatever they're saying on the internet. Now I want to say this. Cole is on fire in regards to bouncing back, the tour, selling out, this, that, and the third. There are people that have massive fan bases that can announce a tour, artists, R&B artists, pop artists, rap artists. They can announce a tour. Fans going to sell it out. It's going to be the biggest thing in their world. Won't mean nothing to most of the world. I don't think that J. Cole's tour is going to amount to the chaos and carnage that Kendrick tour. Every single day they were talking about that tour. Every single day they were trying to either build it up or crash it down. I think J. Cole tour going to go. You're going to see videos and clips and this, that, and the third. You're going to see moments, but it's not going to have no frenzy to it. It's going to come by the middle of it. People not even going to remember that it's happening like that. I'm just going to be honest, and it's going to be over. It is what it is. Unless he does some gimmicks and little stuff to cause up a stir. Other than that, I don't see the hype going to be there. He's just not a guy that demands hype. He shies from it. He's just like, I just want to get up there and rap, and I think that's all it's going to be. End of the day, man, Complex does these lists for engagement, and they achieved it. They got what they wanted. It is what it is. Kudos to you, and I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Listen, CLBMG. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continent to the U.S. All right. Every Wednesday night we go live on the What Show on all my channels, all 8 of my channels. Around 9:15, 9:30. Me, TJ, and Flares. Tap in and lock in over there on my Patreon. Become a member. I'm over 20-some exclusive episodes. Challz Brown on Patreon. Last but not least, Peanut Butter Tim's music video. That's me, TJ, and Flares. We're is on my channel. Lock in, get in the comments, let me know what you think, all right? And run up those numbers on that album. I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. and left me with no center in a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within, with the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin, with the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin, and then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like past fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.